Hello, hello. A little bit early because I didn't know if it would work. Hey, Stidley Designs is here already. Okay, let's back up. All right. Let's see. So, door prize goes to Stidley Designs. If I ever develop door prizes, you'll be the first. JF Baird, Brandon is here. Tommy Taylor, let me know if the microphone is working. I haven't used it in a while. The last live stream was like 3 weeks ago. Woohoo. Yeah. All right. So we'll wait till everyone gets here. Glenn Sheets is here. Okay. So I've just got like blocky stuff to nap today. This week I'll be messing with the lighting and trying to develop a better studio in here. So maybe Friday will look better. I'm trying to get my camera connected to my computer. So if I can get that figured out, I'll be using a new camera on Friday, but we'll see. JF Bear says, working great. Cool. Yeah, we're back. We're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Blades and Points, Sal is here. Yeah. So, yeah, just napping some cruddy, like road rock type chert. It might not be cruddy. Some of this stuff ends up being high grade. It's getting washed out because it's the light color cortex, but it's a dark stone on the inside, so you should be able to see the napping once I start. Should be. I've got super duper lights up here, a super duper light right there, so I should have plenty of light, and so I won't get that blurred effect, but it tends to wash out the lighter colors of stone. Like I want to nap some of this lighter colored chert, but it just gets too washed out. With the new camera, hopefully I'll be able to capture different types of stone, different shades, whether it's glossy or dull. Also, this kind of setup is not napper friendly. I mean, to develop a setup that is napper friendly is a little difficult from this distance. Close up, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's been a while since I had a live stream. Yeah, and I think it's a good restart because a lot of people are available, especially our internationals. So yeah, they'll probably show up in a few minutes. I see a lot of guys have been posting on the community section of the channel, which is good. Yes, yes. And don't be afraid to post all your failures as well as successes. Yeah. Failures are good too. Hey, Marty's here, Buckskin NYB. Hello, Pedrick and crew. Glad you're back safe and sound. Yep. I've been sleeping. So I came home safe, but I wasn't sound. So I had to sleep and sleep and sleep a lot. So now I'm sound. Yeah. Why did I have to sleep a lot? Well, that wasn't the question in the chat. I'm just thinking I didn't feel right because of allergies, I think. Yeah. I have less reaction to allergies here in Vermont than I do in Texas. In Texas, something hits me. I think it's the what they call cedar pollen, but it's juniper and that kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, I'll start napping. I'm curious to see what this rock looks like on the inside. I actually paid money for it. I paid good money for this. Yeah, and it's like it's tabular, sort of, kind of. It's supposed to be good, all right? But you know how that goes. I know what kind of rock it is. It's Pedernales chert, right, from Central Texas, probably a little bit west of San Antonio, where my friend Keith picks it up. I think it's west of San Antonio. It could be a little bit north of San Antonio. I don't know exactly where, but he knows he's got spots, and I'm not going to tell you guys where they are. Yeah. We don't reveal our sources because if we do it, it'll all be gone to people who will never use it. Ace Bro, let's see. Are you interested in making a small batch of ballistic gelatin to test your different array of arrowheads and blades? It'd be cool to see the different nap techniques slice the gelatin. Yep, it would be cool. Yeah, I've already spent hundreds of dollars on rocks and my trip, so the ballistic gel is not going to be done anytime soon. And ballistic gel really doesn't reflect penetration when there's a rib cage, like on deer, of course. I've been hunting deer with a crossbow, and people might ask, "Well, why don't you just use regular bow, dude? You're an archer. You're an archer. Just use a regular bow." Crossbows are awesome. Until you've fired one, you have no idea. So why should I take a risk? Although last time I used the crossbow, I shot at the deer. It was perfect shot, right? But something happened to the crossbow limb. One of the limbs, it snapped. A little piece of metal came out because I think it's like metal rods inside the limbs, and one of the rods popped out. But I didn't notice it right away. I just heard that little pop while we're in the stand, and I'm looking at the crossbow because it came from the crossbow. That's this popping sound. I thought it might have been something had to do with the trigger or whatever. So I looked at it. Nothing, nothing. Anyway, I shot the deer with it, and I thought it was a gut shot at first because the deer just ran off. I didn't see where it hit. I didn't hear that long pop. Usually, when you do a shot on a deer, you either hit the heart or lungs. I didn't hear any kind of thump or pop. So I'm saying, man, I must have gut shot that one. And we were looking for it, didn't find it. And then, that was the end of that session. So that night we were all talking about it and then trying to figure out what the issue was. And then we, were stumped. And then the day after, well, it might have been the limb got weaker or something when that little metal rod popped out. Because we noticed that later. And that might have been it. I might have missed the deer entirely because of the weak limb or something that was off on the crossbow. So I'm hoping it was a complete miss. I'm hoping. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to try again. I'm going next month in December to go hunting again. Yes, yes. I'll try to get one. I did come back with a lot of deer meat, but I didn't come back with a deer that I shot. Let's see. I see a super chat. Jesse, $10. Thank you. Thank you. You jumped the gun. Yeah, because I didn't think I'd get a super chat until I actually started napping. And there's some people probably waiting. Dude, just start napping and stop chatting so much. Yeah, I know. Yeah, your finger can be sliced off. Be careful of crossbows. Yeah, more than that, you can accidentally pull a trigger and that bolt can bounce around inside the stand. Our blind is actually made of plywood. So I got to be sure to make sure I don't hit the wall. That'd be dangerous. Hey, Ron is here. Howdy, Flake Flickers. Perry goes, Ken, early stream. Morning, guys. Yeah. Loving the backdrop, Pat, says Ken. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I think I'll keep the camouflage net. Yeah, for the backdrop. I might start wearing camouflage on the live streams. Let's see. Tom Brown is here. Howdy. Mike Mason's here. What in the wide world of Napa is going on here? Same old. We're back on track, back in the saddle, and back to our regularly scheduled programming. Tommy Taylor says hi. Yeah, you should wear the ghillie suit all the time. I wish. Paleo Ken is here. Hey. Paleo Ken is one of those guys that uses nothing but natural tools. You have to check out his channel. Paleo Ken has a channel. And any of you guys that have a channel say, hey, I got a channel. Ace Bro says, I like the stream, guys. Cool. Yeah, see, Paleo Ken was at the last nap-in Texas. Yep. So anyone who is at the Texas nap-in, I'm going to play favorites to those guys. And Blades and Points by SGP. That's Sal. He has a channel too. In case you're new, there's only 21 people, so that we're mostly old timers. But if there's somebody new, check out the channels on the guys that are in the chat. The channels of the guys that are on the chat. Yeah, most of these guys have channels. Prairie Ghost Ken has a channel that they actually post stuff on the channels. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody sub Paleo Ken. Yeah. All right, if you haven't done so. I know he's an antler person, but hey, we've got to spread the love around a little bit. Yeah. Can't save it just for us random chaotic nappers with modern stuff. Yeah. Oh, that looks kind of sweet. It is good. So I paid for good stuff. Yeah, at least it's good there. Sometimes it's good in one spot and then cruddy on the other side or other spots. So what's the secret to starting these out? What's the secret? Lots of breaking rocks, lots of practice, lots of knocking around rocks that you get for free, even though they're not that good. You know, you might not be able to make good stuff out of them, but to get used to how to start them out, you can just use driveway gravel, little pieces, just to get the hang of knocking pieces off. You're not going to be able to make much, and then you just graduate to a bit larger and larger pieces. Don't get large pieces to start out with in the mail. I'm just recommending don't get large pieces in the mail to start out with because, believe it or not, large pieces require advanced knapping. Smaller pieces, you can just turn them into crud flakes, but you'll learn how to start these off and how to actually remove junk from the outside. Because what you got to do when you first start these is you got to look for the junk because there's impact fractures. If it's real chert and flint, there's going to be impacts. Like there's always impacts and stuff. You got to get rid of all that stuff. You got to make sure you understand that this stuff can lead to incipient, or not lead to it, but they contain incipient cracks, or what I call incipients. Yeah, I refer to them as incipients like they're little creatures, in which they are. They'll mess you up. Those little incipients are all over the place on these chert nodules in many cases, especially if you find them in a stream where they've been tumbled. Let's see. Sal says, I might start doing cringe live streams on the weekends, morning time. Yeah, do it. Paleo Ken says, I need to post more vids. Yeah, post more vids. And talk about hammerstones. I get questions about hammerstones all the time. And I'll say, hey, Ken just did a video on hammerstones. Go bug him. Yeah. I don't like talking about hammerstones because as soon as I start talking about one, it'll break on me and I don't have it anymore. And they'll say, what happened to that sweet hammerstone, dude? You told me all about it and I've been looking for one just like it, but then why aren't you using it? Well, because they break, especially the sweet ones, the ones that work really, really well. At least with me, they break. So I got to have someone that I can refer to that uses lots of different hammerstones and has a big supply, because I don't have a big supply of stuff like that. I used to, but I cut way back on that habit. Yeah, it can get like hoarder territory when you've got hammerstones. When you've got the hammerstone itch, like, oh, that looks like it'd be a sweet one, man. I got to bring that home and try it out. And so you bring it home and try it out, and you go, okay. Now there's a hierarchy of hammerstones. Where do I stick it on the shelf? Do I stick it like number 3 or number 2? I stick it on number 1 for now and see how. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Then you start working on the other hammerstones. Wait a second. There's like 3 tied for first place. I need more shelves. I need a bunch of more hammerstones of different stuff, different types. I'm not going to do that. But I know people that will do that. Hopefully. So you can go bug them. Uh, Mike Mason says, my typos are worse on Sal's live streams. Why is that? Don't be smoking or drinking on Sal's live streams. I've seen you guys. I've been spying on you. Let's see. Okay. I'm amazed I'm keeping up with the chat, but I'm going to start ignoring it when I start getting into the difficult aspects of this. Right now, it's still easy. Paleo Ken says, I put in landscaping rock around the house, so now I have plenty. Yeah, I looked around. Where was it? There was a Walmart that had nothing but flint in the parking lot. That was it. Where was it? I mean, seriously, it had nothing. All of it was bull gravel. Some of it was really bad. Some of it was good, but they're little small chunks. They average about this size, but some of them were excellent. I think it was College Station, Bryan College Station. I think it was in Bryan, Texas. The Walmart there has nothing but flint in the parking lot. So go over there and pretend you're shopping. Ralph Snyder, Patrick, hello, good buddy. And don't let anyone catch you. What I recommend is you just look in the gravel and see if you can find good stuff and take 1, 2, or 3 maybe. Don't be loading up your truck with it because then you get in trouble. Yeah, and then I get in trouble because they say, who told you to do that? Oh, this crazy dude on YouTube, man, during a live stream, he said that there's some dirt and flint in the parking lot. And I need to practice my first stage napping. So I'm not guilty, officer. Or you can just play it safe and don't do that. Yeah. I'm just telling you. If Walmart got it from somewhere, you know there's a landscape supply yard in Bryan College Station that's got mounds and mountains of that stuff with bigger chunks. Okay? So you look around for the landscape yards in places where you see dirt and flint in the landscaping, like at restaurants, hotels, supermarket parking lots and stuff. There's got to be a landscape supply yard around that has it. And you can buy literally tons of that stuff for not that much money. Now, of course, you got to move to Texas. That's the problem, though. That's the problem. You got to move to where that stuff is. If you're serious, some people are very, very serious about napping. So they move close by to where there's napping resources. Now, Texas is not the only spot you can find napping rocks. Yeah. As a beginner, I recommend you napping obsidian and glass, though, first. That gets old quick, I know. But at least it's consistent and you know that it's you messing up and not the material. With this kind of stuff, it doesn't always cooperate, even though it looks like it's going to cooperate. See how it's messy? See, this is the good stuff, the dark stuff and light stuff. Sometimes if a new guy is napping this, he'll go, the inconsistencies don't matter that much, so it must be okay. You start napping it and you go, damn, I don't know how to nap. This shouldn't be that bad. I mean, it shouldn't be that inconsistent, so it must be me and not the rocks. It's always me anyway. Yeah, well, it might not be you. So I would suggest starting with something more consistent so you can know how bad you are and how not bad you are. And it takes time to develop your technique to strike big old flakes like that. See, because you don't want a bunch of these little crud flakes. When you're napping, you don't want a bunch of these little, what I call crud flakes. And what people in my comment sections usually go,
Dude, what a waste. You're just napping like a maniac. You're wasting perfectly good stone. I mean, it's top grade, top notch, triple stupendous rocks. You're just making crud and gravel out of it. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. You're going to have crud flakes no matter what, but you try for these. I can make an arrowhead out of that one. It's got enough of that darker material in it. So I try to knock off larger flakes whenever possible, but you can't get that many. As a new person, you'll have to work on the technique a little bit. And one guy asked me one time if I bring a stone with me like this before I knock this off. If I bring this with me out in the field and then knock flakes off, I should be able to get a lot of use out of something like this, and it's pretty compact, right? So he asked me what's my opinion on the average number of good flakes that come off of something like this. And good is subjective, right? So I would say that was a hard question and a good question. And I go, maybe 3. And this is 1. This is 2. This can probably be made into a projectile point. So that's 2. And the third one is a little bit triangular and chunky. So I don't really count that as a projectile point, although it can be made into a scraper tool or something. But that so far, that's it. I've got crud flakes. This has got too much crud in it. This is all crud, basically, except for that one little part. So I can probably get one more good giant flake. I consider that giant in relation to the core, because this is not only a biface, but it can be considered a core as well. So one more good flake off of this to make a projectile point, and that's it. So I would rather carry the projectile point flakes with me than try to get a bunch of useful flakes off of something like this and carry this. I'd rather carry this. All right. It's lighter. It's much lighter. And better than this, I would carry 3 preforms. Okay. Which is even lighter. So I wouldn't carry this unless I'm going to be away for a long time, away from camp for a long time. Then, yeah, I could use something like this sparingly, especially if there's no rocks in the area where I'm going to be going. This is back in the day. I'm pretending I'm back in the day on a long hunting trip. Yeah, I would take some chunks, yeah. But I would rather take a bunch of lightweight preforms. But you never know. Sometimes you might need a big chunk for something. Moral of the story is you're going to have to practice a lot to get good flakes from stuff like this, other than the biface you're trying to make. If you want to use the debitage, it takes practice, believe it or not, because you're usually going to end up with a bunch of crud, which is normal. Okay. So I don't want to tell these guys that criticize me and say, you're just wasting perfectly good A1 fantastic gabular flakes. I don't want to tell those guys that that's common in Flintknapping and make them seem stupid. I just say it takes practice to get good at making useful flakes from cores like this. Okay? All right. So it's getting a little bit harder. As it gets thinner, it gets more difficult to get good flakes. And there's crud in the middle. So we're already, this is the obstacle here. It looks like it goes pretty deep. But this side is pretty good, it looks like. So I'm going to skim off this and try to preserve more of this side than I am of this side. Let's see. So yeah, I'm going to be ignoring the chat a little bit. And you guys can have a conversation. That's fine. I'm going to reduce this as far as I can with just the boppers. Now, these are solid copper heads. They're not lead filled. They're copper, solid copper. And I got these from flintknappingsupplies.com, in case you're wondering. I got the whole set. Sometimes you can buy these individually, and I try to write the weight of these on them, but it always rubs off too fast. Okay, so that looks like it might be a good flake to use for a projectile point, but it's got mostly crud in it, so that's just a crud flake. It's common for you guys that are new. It's common to have waste flakes that you can't do much with in the pursuit of the biface, and especially when you have to clear out a bunch of junk. Okay, I want to make that clear. I'm preaching to the choir. There's only 25 people, and by the way, hit the like button because I only see 8 people with index fingers. Um, yeah, there's not too many new people, so I'm preaching to the choir. But just in case, all right. So this darker stuff is really good. It's like root beer colored. It's like root beer in color. But yeah, it's Central Texas. Um, one of the Edwards Plateau varieties. I would consider it Pedernales type chert. But knowing the name of it doesn't help you nap. It just helps you in conversations. Yeah, sometimes it'll help you with the heat treat, knowing what the heat treat, knowing how to heat treat it. But it doesn't. It doesn't really. You have to experiment with everything. Just because some guy heats this to 375 degrees doesn't mean that you can do it that way too. Sometimes it requires 325 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes 425 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes none. Sometimes every time you try to heat stuff like this, it looks like root beer. It gets all, you know, brittle, and sometimes the pop lids pop out and ruin some good spots. Otherwise, it is good, but you get these pot lids. They call them pot lids when the heat makes these certain areas pop out. It has to do with some inconsistencies in the material, probably. And you ruin your otherwise good areas that you didn't need to be heat treated. Like this doesn't need to be heat treated at all. It's good like it is. But you can do it. It makes it more slick looking, glossy, which some people like that look. Yeah, it looks kind of cool to be nice and glossy, but I'd rather have a nice looking piece overall than nice looking material. Yeah, I'll make pieces out of nasty looking stuff all the time. So, what am I doing? I'm trying not to break it. Yeah. Let's see. Paleo Ken says, this is going to sound weird, but man, I nap better when I talk out loud about the flake I'm setting up to take, as though I'm teaching someone. Huh. Lucky. You're lucky. I get all disconnected from what I'm doing. If I start talking, I'm kind of disconnected from what I'm doing. I can't get into the zone as well. Sometimes I can. It's getting easier. The more I do this talking and napping stuff, it gets easier, but I can't get in the zone like I can when there's no talking. But like, see, there's differences in people. And how does that relate to napping? Guys can make the same point style using completely different methods, but they look the same in the finished state. Okay, everyone understands that, right? Except for the archaeologists. Everyone except the archaeologists understands that. You can have two different guys making points that look the same, with the same styles of flakes, same length of flakes, same edge treatments, because they're following a mental template, right? But they have totally different approaches and methods. Everyone understands that except archaeologists. For some reason, I don't know. And if you're an archaeologist watching, You might want to watch some other channel. Yeah. Unless you got thick skin, then you're fine. Then you're welcome to join us. If you've got thick skin and a sense of humor and you're not too ticked off by this kind of talk, yeah, welcome. We can be friends. Maybe. Okay. And some guys out there, they're smarty pants. They go,
No, there's subtle differences in the way the flakes look between the two guys. Subtle differences, which means that these flakes can tell you how they were made.
yeah, okay. I bet you, can you reconstruct how they're made though? I mean, can you tell what the differences are between these two guys? There's two out of how many hundreds of thousands of nappers in a certain area during a 1,000-year period? Can you tell the difference? Can you narrow it down from those thousands of guys to these two guys that are working on these points and they look pretty much the same? Can you tell what they're doing that's different from each other? So you don't know. They might be doing something that we don't do at all as part of their approach. Maybe they're isolated and they kind of nap weird. How would you nap weird? Tell us, oh sage of the nappers. How can they nap weird? You're such a smarty pants. Well, they can nap weird by shaping their hammerstones in a weird way. As an example, I know that some guys will nap with a rounded hammerstone. Some guys will nap with a flattened spot on the hammerstone. Some guys will nap with a concavity in the spot where they're hitting with the hammerstone. They like the concavity in the hammerstone. Some nap with a hammerstone that has a protrusion on it. I've tried all those methods. Hammerstones that are roundish where I hit on the hammerstone, hammerstones that are flat, hammerstones that are concave. There's a little bit of a concavity where you hit. There's also, or the opposite, a protrusion, a little part sticking out where you hit. So it's more narrow at that part. And there's other things too. Some people can nap well with a hammerstone that's been cracked in half. So instead of being completely round, it's like a half round. You know what I'm saying? And that sort of thing. Some people can nap with a chert hammerstone on chert. Okay? I've seen that done. It just depends on if you have a really tough chert, you can use it as a hammerstone on chert that's softer if you have nothing else. It crushes the edge a lot, but you can get it started. All right? You can get it started at the quarry. You can do your preliminary napping and then finish it off with antler or something or a different hammerstone later. Some guys use the same hammerstone throughout the whole process from start to finish, from the big chunk to the small chunk. They're still the same size hammerstone. Some guys switch it out, 2 or 3 different ones. Can you tell as an archaeologist what method they're using just by being exposed to this explanation of what I've just told you? Can you figure it out what they've been using? No, of course not. You don't know what they started using as far as the initial reduction. That's one of the hardest things to determine. What is the initial reduction process? Because there's so many different ways to do this. There's so many different ways to do this particular stage. All right? Now, it gets easier to tell what they did as it progresses. Because there's only so many sizes of point tips that can be used for, let's say, a certain width of notch. You can't use a big fat pressure flaker for a narrow notch. It's got to be more narrow than the narrowness of the notch. So that's one way to tell what type of tool they used, right? Unless they're using some kind of vertical punch, then you can't tell unless there's a punch out that you can see the outline of the tool in the punch out, in the pop out. Sometimes they'll leave the last pop out with the tool mark in on the artifact. So then you can see how narrow that tooltip was. Either they either use pressure or punch to do it with. Okay, but that's at the later stages are easier to tell. The initial stages like this, it could be totally different from one region to another, or from one napper to another. But they're both in the same quarry. One guy says, "Yeah, I don't want to carry around that heavy hammerstone. I got myself a good antler from my cousin who lives up north. He hunts moose, so he sent me some moose. And I sent him some turtle shells because he's got no turtles where he's at. Okay, we made a good trade." And the other guy saying, "Dang, all that work, just pick up something from here." Yeah. Anyways, you guys don't know. Nobody knows. It's all guesswork. And some of the smarty pants on the internet say, "No, it's not guesswork, man. You can tell." Yeah, I can tell. Doesn't matter how many thousands of different nappers out there were. Doesn't matter how good they were or not good they were. Yeah, I can tell how they're made. Yep. And it doesn't matter if they're in a hurry or they're taking their time. I could tell how they were made. Yeah. An experienced napper who's in a big hurry is going to make something that doesn't look that great, but it's a very experienced napper. Okay. And some guy that's not that great, taking his time, can actually produce a pretty nice, decent point that looks like it's beyond his skill level if he takes more time. So, part of the way that these things are made are the skill level of the napper himself, depending on different factors. Like if he has less time to make it, it's not going to look as good as if he took all day. And that goes for experienced or non-experienced. Some guys are very experienced, but they don't want to use their experience or skill all the time because it just gets too fatiguing. You're looking at one. I can make really, really nice points, but to do that all the time, I don't know. So once in a while, I'll just kind of goof around with something, and it's not going to come out that great. And someone will look at that and say, "You made that?" "Yeah, I made it." But but okay, so it's got some step fractures and it's not symmetrical, and one of the notches is not. I mean, the notches are not even, and they're not the same depth and stuff. But I had fun doing it. But you made it. I thought you was a napper. Yeah. Okay, so this is the easy part done. First stage. Now I'm going into the more difficult stage. Now I do separate these stages mainly for the new guys. The guys with experience, they have their own stages and stuff. But I'm just letting you know a lot of guys can get to this stage and then they mess up after this. Same with me. I'll mess up after this. But what I try to do on this one as a general strategy is preserve this good side as much as I can. I only skimmed off thin flakes, these little really thin, skinny ones to get a good surface on that side, but not take too much off. And then concentrate on getting bigger flakes and more chunks off of this side to get rid of this mess. Although this mess isn't too bad, it does present problems when you get thinner. Ralph Snyder says, "Patrick, you have my permission to give Clint Stoner, Perry Goes Ken, my address and contact info." All righty, let's see. Before that goes away in the chat, let me take pictures. Let me take some pictures. Do I get it? Sometimes I'll take a picture and it's all blurry. Okay. So I don't know if I have Clint Stoner's email. I don't know if I do have Prairie Ghost Ken's info. Okay. But Clint Stoner send me your email if I don't have it. Okay. Guys, pay attention to the chat. If you want someone to contact you, or if you give permission for me to give your information to someone else, make sure I have that someone else's info for one. And then make sure you guys talk. I'll try not to get it wrong. and send the wrong stuff to the wrong person. um, and then you're just going, okay, well, dang it. Should I or shouldn't I give my information out? Because this senile old man's going to send out the wrong information. I'm just warning you, okay? Be careful. Most of these guys are cool. I mean, there's no guys that are uncool in here. Hey, Fox3 from the UK. Evelyn says hi, Patrick. Hey, Evelyn. This is fun. Let's see who else is here that I missed. Let's see, Clint Stoner, please and thank you. Yeah. Uh, Sal says, Patrick, did you get your package yet? Yes, Sal, I've got your package sitting on my kitchen floor. Yeah, I got your box. It's it's double boxed. I think it's a medium or large flat rate box. Mikael HC, hey all. Yeah, so Fox3, his name's Marco. He's from the UK. Well, it says right there, but he's near London, right? He's not actually in London, but he's nearby. This is cool. Let's see. What did I miss? Did I miss some good stuff? Let me see. I'm taking a pause because this is where I pause myself during the napping. Okay. I'll continue this in a little bit. It gives me a chance to look at the chat. Richie Alligator. No. Yeah, Richie Alligator. Hi. Now German, Austria also. Germany, Austria. Awesome. So Richie is from Germany or Austria. Let's see. Mike Mason says his signal is jumpy. Oh yeah, that reminds me. When I'm in Texas, sometimes the uploads get messed up. It's weird. I'll be in Texas next month. I'm going to go hunting again. I'll be gone for 2 or 3 weeks. Same deal as this time. I'm not going to do live streams and stuff. I'll try to pay attention to the uploads and try not to upload those glitchy videos. But then I got to spend time reviewing them. Here is much better. I get a much better connection here than I do in Texas. Except my sister's house is pretty good. And at the Knapping, it seemed pretty good. But somehow at my house in Texas, it's not that great. Let's see. All right, let's see. What else did I miss? What else did I miss? Mike Mason says, I assume Ralph and I were going to hunt each other with primitive weapons upon info exchange. That was down like a clown, Charlie Brown. What is that? That's funny. I need to start using that down like a clown, Charlie Brown. Yeah. Younger guys, they don't know what that means, right? Is Charlie Brown still a thing these days, or has SpongeBob overtaken everything? Fox3, have you watched these channels? Scott Lauer, English, Flint Man. These are friends of mine from the UK. They both have great channels. Yeah, there's another guy from the UK now, and I think he's been posting on the community. He needs to get in contact with Scott Lauer and English Flintman. What's his name? I can't remember his YouTube handle, but there's guys popping up from the UK from time to time. And I need to send them all messages. Hey, you guys probably just live within a couple hours of each other. All right, let's start the process on doing the thinning on this. How much time do I have? We've only gone into this live stream for 30 minutes. That's it. Well, I've been on longer than that, but yeah. How time does not fly for some reason when I'm trying to explain stuff. I clear it, even though it's not on video. I'm clearing the mess out of the way because if I drop this on the mess, sometimes it breaks it. Okay. Okay. So what's the size of this? Eventually, I'm going to start weighing the. When I do a rock to point like this, I'll weigh the rock and then I'll weigh the debitage on each step and I'll measure everything. I just keep forgetting to do that because it's one of those things that interrupts the flow of what I'm trying to do. If I have to sit there and stop and measure and try to remember other things other than remembering how to flint knap. Yes, I have to remember how to flint knap. So I haven't done much flint knapping at all when I got back. Let's see, what did I do? Yeah, just the stuff for the auction. That was it. Let's see. Uh, Someone asked me a question. Finally. Let's see. Daninator. Daninator, would you ever demonstrate the Levallois method in the spirit of Neanderthals? You haven't been around my channel very long because I have done several videos on the Levallois. Okay? Not the la 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 technique, although that's what I call it. Or the Levawa. The guys over on the other side of the pond say Levawa. I don't say it that way. I say Levallois. It's a French word. I do have videos on the Levallois technique. Sal says I leave him comments all the time. He never replies to me. I just hit my like button is my reply. If I hit the like on your comment, that's my reply. Daninator says, yeah, but he's not Jack Crafty. It's my old videos. Yeah, I don't goof around on my old videos. I was too depressed to goof around back then. Jesse says, I'm currently experimenting with that uniface technology too. Jesse says, Patrick Blank is Jack Crafty. Daninator. Excellent. Yes, people don't know that Patrick Blank is Jack Crafty. It says right in my bio. Oh, I forget. You guys never click bios. You never read descriptions. You never do any of that stuff. Let me see. Leva la 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 says Killer Cork. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, David Eldridge never replies. Oh, I see. Well, I don't reply very often either. I just either hit the like or a heart button usually. That's my reply. Daninator says, I'm in North Dakota, guys. Cut me some slack. Has the ground thawed out yet? You guys are in permafrost, right? Up in North Dakota? No, dude, it gets warm in North Dakota too. You didn't see the weather. See, you don't even know. Okay, fine. I've known guys that lived up in North Dakota. Where I used to work, we sent equipment up to North Dakota, and some of the guys would have to follow the equipment up there for the oil field, right? So yeah, I know about North Dakota. A little bit. When is he going to start napping this? I'm waiting. I can just see people. No one's dropped out of the chat yet, which is good. Yeah, Buckskin NYB is in North Dakota too. Marty. So, yeah, tell everyone where you're at if you're brand new, because you don't know. You can have someone lives just down the street from you, like me here in Vermont. There's a napper that lives just down the street from me, but he's never outside anymore. He's getting old, and he doesn't nap anymore, so I never get to say hi. I ride by on my bike all the time, and he's never there anymore, sitting on the steps. I'm not going to walk up to the door and go, because, I get people the creeps. You thought I just gave people the creeps on YouTube. Yeah. I can't just go up to someone's steps and start knocking. They go, hey, there's a Fed outside, or there's an inspector, or there's this crazy old guy. It looks like a librarian of devil books. I don't know what they're thinking, but they usually just they look out the window a little bit and they see me and they go, How do I know? I used to do deliveries as a side hustle when I was younger, and I noticed some people were very hesitant to open the door or to look out, even to look outside, because they got outstanding warrants for their arrest, and I look like I'm undercover cop or something. I don't know. They don't come to the door. I'm just trying to deliver something, dude. I've made some deliveries where people inside are kind of sketchy. Yeah, I used to deliver pizzas too. I delivered all kinds of stuff. I delivered pizzas. I delivered mail. I've delivered packages. Mail for private services. Like for a lawyer, you have to send out documents and whatever. Anyway, I've delivered to some places that are kind of sketchy, and I've also installed cable. I was a cable guy for a while, installing cable TV, going into the cable boxes and rearranging some wires. And yeah, it's some people are strange, and I was happy to get in and out as fast as possible because they may have felt unsafe. But what about the delivery guy or the cable guy? Yeah, we sometimes feel unsafe too. Yeah. Let's see. Only 16 likes. Yeah, what's up, guys? Kristen Tibbetts is from Virginia. There's snappers in Virginia. Christian, watch out. You're not by yourself, I guarantee. So Detonator is in Fargo. Is someone trading Knife River Flint around this place? Yeah. Buckskin NYB trading Knife River Flint. I bet you had free cable TV. Me? Free cable? Did I have free cable? That's a good question. I'm trying to think because there was a time where I stopped watching TV. So I think I didn't even watch TV. So no, I didn't have free cable when I was a cable guy. Right? I paid for At the time I paid for different subscriptions. So yeah, I was paying for like HBO and Cinemax and that kind of stuff because my wife at the time wanted to see the movies. Uh, you do get these little descramblers or something, so you can get more channels. But they keep track of that stuff. They keep track of how many of those descramblers they give you that you install on the line to give you Cinemax and HBO. It just descrambles the signal, I guess. But if I were to take one of those and install it, they would know. I gave you like 4 descramblers and you came back with 3 and you didn't have any of those installations. What's going on, dude? That kind of thing. Now you can find the descrambler on a customer. You go to a customer, they're no longer paying their bill, so you disconnect them and you get the descrambler. But they know that too. So I know guys that get free. I knew guys that got free cable back then, but I don't know how they did it. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to keep it under the radar. Yeah. I get caught in 5 minutes. No matter what I do, speeding, or if I cheat on a test, like in whatever, like in school, when I was in school cheating on a test, they could see me right away. I don't know what it is. Maybe my expression changes when I'm cheating. I don't know. And when I'm doing something wrong, I walk in and you're like, dude, what's wrong? You got your eyes are like different sizes. That means you're cheating. I have no filter on my facial expressions. What is this? Mike Mason says, that's why you send Luis and Jumpy in first? Yeah, I wish. Let's see. Oh, softens a blow when they see you. I should take my pets with me. Although the skunk wouldn't soften it, I guarantee. No. uh, let's see. So yeah, what else was going on in the chat before I get into the hard stuff? My on-air side fell down? No. You can't fool me because I can see what's behind me when I'm looking this way. I remember I remember when I used to get on Twitter, they had Periscope or something, right? Everyone was posting Periscope videos, and I was looking around on Periscope videos, and the biggest joke at the time was they would comment in the comment section, "Is that your dad in the window back there?" And the Periscope person would go, "What? What?" And they would look back behind them. But the thing is, they can see, like I can see, what's behind them by looking at the camera. So I don't know what they're smoking, but they don't have to look back there to see. Okay, so if you tell me there's something behind me that I shouldn't know, I mean I can see it. Now I can pretend I don't see it and get freaked out and say, "Okay, end of live stream. I'm being attacked by a spirit." End of live stream. Live stream. Some people say, "Dang it, dude! This guy's nutball. I'm unsubscribing this. Can I take back my likes? I don't want to like this. I don't know why I liked it earlier." Yeah, sorry. I goof around on the live streams. I'm not going to goof around that much on the videos anymore, on the regular videos. But on live streams, yeah, why not? I'm not monetizing these anyway. I can say whatever I want. I don't have to be careful. Although, I don't know what I'm going to say otherwise, other than just goofing around stuff. So I'm trying to get one of these sides nice and this nice side. I'm trying to get it nice and smooth. Nice deserves nice and smooth. What's my strategy? Don't break it. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't break it. Everything else is taken over by the subconscious. I don't know why I choose a certain spot to hit, how I prioritize this stuff. I really don't know how I prioritize which spot I hit first. I just let my subconscious do it. Now, if my subconscious is messing up, like if I'm tired or if I'm in a bad mood, my subconscious is going to get all screwed up. So then I got to consciously go, wait a second. What am I doing? What in the wide world of subconscious flintnapping is going on here? Yeah, then I had to correct it consciously. But to ask me what is my mentality at any particular point, I'm going to tell you, I try not to have a mentality at any particular point unless it's messing up. Otherwise, I just let my subconscious do it. My subconscious will prioritize, and this will look good here, so I'll just take a flake there. There's general rules, like I thin the ends down first, and I try not to make the mistake of getting the middle too thin. That's really the only conscious, not the only one, but the main conscious endeavor is to make sure I've got good convexity both this way and this way. Okay? So the ends have got to be thin. If you want a convexity this way, the ends have got to be thin. Why would you want a convexity in a long way? So you can run long flakes from the base or the tip. Or, this way. It doesn't have to be exactly from the tip. It can be from the side of the tip running into the thing, but you need good convexity in both directions, the long way and the side way. Okay, so that's the main goal, other than don't break it. So you want to know my mentality? Don't break it and keep it convex. Yeah, that's it. And the everything else comes from experience. You just kind of go with the feelings. Yeah, I know it's one of those few times where you have to pay attention to your feelings. Otherwise, feelings get you into trouble. Yeah. In other aspects of life, your feelings are really not that great as far as obeying what they're telling you. But in flint napping, the feelings are not emotional. They're kind of stressful type feelings. Like if you are going to go against your feelings, you get stressed. Something just feels off. So you go with what does not feel off. And it's not in an emotional kind of way. It's like dangerous, like dicey. My term for getting into a bad situation is it feels dicey. Like there's too much risk.
Yeah, dude, but that's not how you explain flint napping. Everybody else explains flint napping like technical stuff, like the angles in the platforms and the striking zones, and the material properties and the material properties of the tools in the stall. I mean, technical.
I don't know. I don't do the technical, not anymore. You have to look at some of my older videos, okay? I'm not sure how technical I get in those, but I'll just tell you right now, fair warning, your angles are not my angles. And I'm not going to mess with your angles, so don't mess with my angles, okay? Just fair warning. Don't say, dude, you're doing it stupid. Yeah, compared to the way you do it, maybe. But everyone has their own angles. Yeah. Some people say, dude, it looks like you're napping like everything's straight. There's just slight yeah, everything's kind of straight. The tool is straight, in line with the biface many times, but there's very, very slight tweaks. This makes a big difference from that. This just this little bit of movement makes a big difference. Well, how many degrees is that? 1 or 2 degrees? 3 degrees difference? It makes a big difference. And it's not only the angle, it's the force applied. Makes a big difference also. And the quality of the tip and the quality of the edge. The clarity of your thinking. And sometimes your overall approach can make a big difference. I'm very random. I'm opportunistic. I don't contrive these striking areas. I just eliminate the dull areas, and whatever I have that looks decent and robust enough to hit and maybe generate a good flake, that's where I hit. I'm opportunistic until I get down to the very final stages where I can't be that opportunistic. I've got to actually create the areas that I'm going to hit so that they work better than just taken opportunistically. See, an opportunistic napping doesn't always afford you good opportunities. Okay. Many times it's like, yeah, I think I can live with that. So I'll just take the flake anyway. And then sometimes it crushes or makes a mistake, or I get a little step fracture because the surface is not convex enough. Where is it right there? There's a little step fracture right there because the surface was not convex enough. But hey, I can live with it, right? As long as you can live with the little mistakes from the opportunistic napping. But some people hate that.
I refuse to take a flake from a spot that's not going to be awesome. It's got to be awesome. Edge has got to be awesome and fantastical.
Okay, then do it that way. How many people? 33? I can make that 23 really fast. And I'll have fun doing it. So yeah, I prepared kind of I'm getting to the point where I'm preparing these more and more, these longer flakes. I kind of mess with the edge to make it better for that kind of flake. So, but I'll let you know when most of the time I'll let you know when I'm trying to get a better flake than I normally would with just pure opportunities. Sometimes you can get really good flakes with just pure opportunities, but it gets to the stage where the rock doesn't like it. It goes, no, dude, I let you get away with it in the beginning, but you got to do better than that at this stage. Yeah, you're gonna have to just do a little bit better than that, or I'm gonna mess you all up, and I'm gonna laugh at you. The rock will laugh at you. I get sun in my face. The sun, look at it. I'm melting. Okay. Oh, let's see. Let's get the sun out of my face. All right. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I don't know how it is for you guys, but that's so much better. I like the sun, but not right in my face. Uh, Mike Mason says, I did look at your older vids and have been using it like a Bible. Well, dang. I didn't know they were that good. Scott Lauer's in the house. Let's see. Scott, Richie Alligator is in this stream and he's in the UK. I told him about you and Dave's channel. Perhaps a UK Flintknapping napping in the future. Yes, yes. I missed TJ's entrance, right? Where's TJ? TJ's new life from Australia. What did I miss? Jeremy's here. Hey, y'all. Anyone going to Leavenworth, Indiana this weekend for napping? I'm sure there are. But since there's only 35 people instead of 350, you might only see one that's going to the napping that's in the chat. Bill Hansen says, "Hey Sal, I need your address if I can. I'd like to send you a piece of heated China hollow. You better jump on that, Sal." Yep. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ralph Snyder says, "Scott." Okay, I read that one already. Jesse says, "Sometimes with indirect, I try to take a small flake on each side of the platform to further isolate it, and then weenie out and not hit hard enough and make a hinge." Hey, someone said hi. Dwayne Griffin says hi. Hey, Dwayne Griffin. I believe he's from splendid Splendora, Texas. Let's see. Hope you don't mind me saying that. I just had to say it because of the name of the town. Let's see. Let's see. Indiana, but not sure if I can make it. Brennan says he's in Indiana, but he's not sure he can make it. I did hear about it this morning, though I wish I could make the Leavenworth nap in. Sal says, I'm awake. Hey, Bill. Killer Cork says, hey, Bren. Also, Sal is napping as well today, right now. Ralph says, Jeff, you're not cheating if the results are good. Dwayne Griffin says, everything is splendid in Splendora. All right. How did I know? I think Marty can give it to me if that's okay, says Bill Hansen. Yeah. There's some good contacts in the chat, so pay attention. Don't miss out. Sometimes when the live stream ends, I think maybe most of the time, you can't go back and check and see. So you've got to take notes during the chat. Like I have trouble looking at the chat later on. I think it's mainly on my phone that I have trouble. I can see the chat sometimes on my computer if I push the right buttons. But yeah, take notes from the chat. I should do the same thing. I keep forgetting my notes, my notebook. I have my pens and stuff now, but I forget my notebook. So how am I doing on the napping? It's starting to be the sweat stage. Come on, lighting, please. I smoothed out the surface. This is really high grade stuff. It's turning out to be high grade. I've eliminated a lot of the crud on this side. I still have to take care of some of the stepping that's going on, which means I got to run some cleaner flakes. I'm going to set it up to where I'm going to run cleaner flakes here in a minute by being picky on how I prepare the edge, and then I'll run some flakes in there to try to smooth that out. If I can't, it's no big deal. I've been known to sell stuff with step fractures in it, but if you want to make money with this, these things have to be clean. Yeah, my advice to new guys: if you're looking for a side hustle, this is a good side hustle, but you got to make these things clean, which means it's going to require a lot of practice for most of us. Some of us are gifted, or some of you are gifted and can do this and learn it in a matter of months instead of years, but most of us take years. So if you're working with high grade material and you can't get anything done, don't worry. We're all in the same boat. It takes time. And you may run out of money before you get good at it. That's the drawback. Some people quit because it's just too expensive as a hobby. Now, if you can sell some of your stuff, you can help to pay for the rocks. Ed Gould says, I came and I saw, and now I make like tree. What's that? Let's see. Bushy's here. I didn't see. Jimmy Farkle. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jim. Who else did I miss? I can't see. This is far away. The computer's far away. What else did I miss? Bushy is Ferdo Joe. Hey, Patrick and all. Hello, hello. You missed the first hour. Scott Lauer says, hey, Richie, alligator, wherever you are. He's somewhere in the UK. He's probably not reading the chat, though, by the looks of it. All right, so yeah, people are sending each other their info, which is good. If you don't know, I've got a community section on my channel for you guys to post pictures and stuff and comments. It allows you now to post up to 10 pictures. It used to be a limit of 5 pictures, but now you can post pictures. Can you post videos yet on the community channel, on the community part of the channel? Sal says, I can't wait to find out who the guy's going to be. Hey, I made it at the end. Oh, yeah. Some of the best laughs on the live stream are after it's over. What do I mean by that? I'll sit here and I'll wait. The live stream ends at 4 p.m. Eastern, but we'll sit here and wait. See who shows up going, hey, I didn't know you guys were live. How's it going? I'm ready. Yeah, you're ready to be said goodbye to. What? Yeah, you missed it, the whole thing. What did I miss? You missed everything. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to the funny stuff at the end. Well, Sal was talking about that too. It is funny to wait to see who shows up after the live stream. I think they might do it on purpose sometimes because this is just too much of a coincidence. There's always somebody that shows up at the end. I don't know. They don't know how to ask Google what time it is, or whoever they're asking on the computer or on their phone. Used to be able to ask Siri. I don't know if Siri's even around anymore. I don't know. I don't ask Siri, or I never did. I do when I'm busy. I'll hit the microphone on Google and ask a question on Google using the microphone, little microphone symbol. But if I don't ask it quick enough, it doesn't it doesn't post my question correctly. So if I stumble or if I stutter, I gotta ask it many times. It's not what I asked, or I stuttered, so you cut me off. Google does that. It doesn't like it when you stutter or pause. Okay. I don't know. This is getting to be a little tricky because I got to remove material from the side that I don't want to remove material from, just so I can maintain the convexity everywhere. It's getting too thin for this. It's getting too thin for this, and it's ticking me off because the bad side has still got some step fractures on it, and now I'm putting step fractures on the good side too because it's getting too thin. This clears up a lot, right? But this is the good side. I don't want to do that too many times on the good side, unless I can take a flake off that I might be able to use later, which that one's pretty good. But anyway, I got to do that on this side as well. See, this side's all crackly. This is the bad side that had some inclusions in it. But I got to make sure I maintain the convexity. This was getting too bulgy on this side because I wanted to preserve it. I don't want it to get too bulgy on one side. So what I do is I take some off, then I can have it. Then I can remove some of this, so I can drive flakes this way on the other side. You got to lose some width to drive these flakes. So I got to do it strategically. If I'm going to lose width, let me take a flake off first to remove some of these lumps, and then take off edge, flip it over, and then drive flakes. It makes it thinner and more dicey than removing width first and then running the flakes. But I take that chance. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me that much. Some people, it might bother them to be dicey, to do dicey things. Some people there's different tolerance levels for this sweat stage. Some people are not bothered by it at all, and they like the challenge of thinning the piece. I think I have like an intermediate tolerance. I'm not hypersensitive, but I do get sweaty. So that was one. It didn't go far enough, of course. It's probably too flat, but it did get rid of something that I was thinking that was bad. But you sacrifice the edge for these kinds of hard strikes. You can't see. Yeah, now you can see. See that? That's okay. I'd rather have a little bit of sacrifice than a bunch of steps. All right, so but it didn't really look that great. Let me focus a little bit on this. Prepare this edge a little bit better by removing small flakes here and there where I think it needs it. Now, this does require a conscious effort, which is more exhausting than letting your subconscious do it. So that's why I save it to the end. I save this careful persnickety stuff for the end so I don't get burnt out in the beginning. I pace myself. All right, so where am I going to hit now? I don't know. It still all looks kind of dicey. But that's the nature of the beast when you get to the thinning stage. Everything looks dicey. Everything looks like it's going to break it. So don't worry. If that's the way it feels for you, you're in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. It feels like it's going to break. Yeah. And sometimes it does. This is high grade stuff too, and I'm still messing it up. You can't see how I'm messing it up, right? But see, I just did that. What did I just do? I scooped it. Instead of running the flake, it abruptly stopped. I scooped it. There's various reasons why it scoops out. One of them is that happens a lot on high grade material. It naps a little bit too easy. So you take it for granted. But then if it's not really nice on the edge as far as the grinding, something will go wrong. Like there'll be an incipient crack you didn't see, or it'll crush. There's not enough power to drive the flake, so it kind of scoops it out. Luckily, it scoops it and not step. It's not a bad step fracture, just kind of scooping, which is not as bad as a step fracture, but it's still cruddy. Now, if I get in the zone, I can reduce those quite a bit. I can reduce the chances of that kind of scooping out quite a bit if I get in the zone and focus on what I'm doing. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll sneak in from behind and it's hard to put this back to where it was. Where did it go? And to show you that I sneak in from behind that scoop out. Okay, so I hit it up here and went in behind the scoop out. See, the scoop out is right there. But I hit here and that flake traveled behind it, which is good. Now I can direct attack. And sometimes it'll work. Yeah. As long as there's material removed from the back side of that scoop out, I can do a direct attack, and a lot of times that'll work. And flatten that out. Yeah. Yeah, like that. See? No more scoop out. And it thins it. I just lost a bunch of edge though. So I'm trying to thin it down near the tip. I'm going this way toward the tip to thin it down. Why am I thinning down the tip? Because it's not thin enough. That's why. How do you know it's not thin enough? That's my whole problem. How do you know? I need to know or I'll die. I need to know how you do it. I don't know how you know. Just from practice, I guess. I know I need to thin the tip down. At this stage, I need a good convexity in every direction. It goes back to that same old principle. In case you just joined me, I talk about convexity mainly this way, across from edge to edge this way, but you also need convexity from tip to base. So you can run flakes this way too. All right? And that does help with Clovis points if you're into that sort of thing. So So if you don't keep enough convexity the lengthways, the flutes will dive and cut the piece in half many times, or they'll dive in step fracture, which some people like that step fracture at the end of the thinning flake. Some people think that's a feature of the technology. I will not get into that discussion. No. Nope, nope, no. You will not get me to go down that rabbit hole. So I'm just trimming now. I'll be doing a lot of trimming here. This is actually a really nice high grade material. I really don't want to nap this on the live stream, but I think I can get it smooth. Not like that. It's a little bit too wide. Yeah. It is high grade material, but it doesn't like this flat stuff. It doesn't like what I'm doing. So this is the side that had a lot of crackling in it, but I just can't seem to get rid of the crackling. It's getting too flat also. I don't have much room to thin it further. So it's just getting flatter and flatter, which it's not eliminating the crackle. Like, see, I still have some right there. I would like it to be more like this side, but it's just not working. Now, it works better if I make it more narrow, but I try to start with as wide as possible. And then if it's not working, then I'll make it narrow. Okay. So I'm going to leave this for later. I don't want to nap. This is actually a very high grade piece. It's got translucency as well. Yeah. I want to make a nice piece out of this. I'll have to make it more narrow to get that crackly stuff out of there with some good flakes. But see, right now it's too flat. Okay, so let me switch to the other piece. In the time I got left, I got like 45 minutes left. Let me catch up with the chat. Hold on. Richie Alligator says I have to order my flint from North Germany. Just drive up to Denmark. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to drive up to Denmark and go to the beach and to pick up some flint. Mike Mason says, no drinking before physical therapy, TT. They'll think I screwed up my ankle again. Jim Cooper's here. Let's see. Richie Alligator, I studied and now work in Tyrolia, close to where Ötzi was found. Just made my first Oldowan style chopper without the whole piece crumbling apart. So far, I've managed a few arrowheads. Awesome. But yeah, drive up to Denmark and let me know if you guys in Germany or Austria or Spain or Italy or anything, if you can't just go up to Denmark and go to the beach and pick up flint, let me know why. Because I'm not knowledgeable as to what are the obstacles of going down to Denmark and picking up flint. On the beach. Is it just time? You guys, I mean, I understand that if you guys don't have time to do that. But a lot of us are like retirement age. You can say, if your dad's still alive, say, Dad, can you drive up to Denmark and go to the beach? Yeah. And look for rocks? How much you give me? I'll pay for your gas money, Dad. Just go up there and look for rocks on the beach that I can flint knap. And if they're too heavy, then I'll go up and help you. You know, one possibility. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant. Yeah, I know. What else was new? Yeah. Let's see. Bushy says, don't bother, Patrick. He's operating. Uh, Mike Mason says, I once demanded a kangaroo toe from a woman in New Zealand because of her accent. And the rumors that Australia isn't even a real place. What the heck? Mm-hmm. Yeah, where's Jake? Where is Jake? Let's see. Tommy Taylor says, Richie, 8-hour drive in the U.S. is a short trip. You can drive that here and still be in the same state. So Richie Alligator says it's 11-hour drive or more. So that's it. 11 hours. You know how long it took me to get to the Knapping in Texas from here in Vermont? The GPS says 30 hours, 30 hours. But, that's without stops. I have to, it's a 4-day drive for me to drive from Vermont to Texas. That's where I got this. I'm in Vermont and I have Texas Rock 30 hours away. I don't want to hear no excuses. Um, yeah, like Tommy Taylor says, 8-hour drive in the U.S. is short. Yeah, when I lived in Texas, it took me at least 8 hours just to get out of the state. Let's see. Richie Alligator says, I know. I traveled from Washington to Carolina in a few years back. Yeah, I see. That's a long drive. Ralph Snyder says, yeah, I saw Will Lord collect some Danish flint on the beach. Yeah, I've been watching those beach videos too. Let's see. Mike Mason says, Patrick is reading my hater with you guys. Won't make sense the way it's spread out, I'm sure. I don't get it. Marty says, does anybody know Jason Newman? I had a really good video of trying to make the Sweetwater Bay fit. Yeah, I know Jason Newman. He does videos on Facebook. That's where he posts his videos lately. But he also has a channel called Jason Newman, right? Yeah. I mean, Sal knows Jason. The guys at the Texas Knapping, they know Jason Newman. Yeah, he has tried to make the Sweetwater biface. He's gotten pretty close. Marty says you should come on Jake's live stream later, Patrick. Yesterday there was about 1,900 people on it for a bit. Yeah, he's got a large reach. My channel's been what do they call it? Shadow banned. Keith says, Patrick, I got the Overstreet catalog volume 16 for myself as a birthday gift. Thanks for showing me that book. Perfect. Let's see. Mike Mason says, why did it say hater instead of banter? I don't know. Scott Lauer says, family will bump into Peter Viking on the same beach. Oh, funnily, will bumped. Who bumped into Peter Viking on the beach? You did, Scott? In case you don't know, Peter Viking has a Flintknapping channel named Peter Viking with a W instead of a V. And he does long blades. Yeah, like people want me to do. But Peter Viking knows how to do them already, so just go to his channel. Jim says, I'm blessed to live outside of Nashville, so the rivers are my go-to. And also landscaping rocks because anarchy. Okay. Sal says, Jason is great. Yeah, Jason has patience to do this kind of to do the kind of work that he does requires a lot of patience. He can sit and not get tired of that very persnickety type napping for hours. Man, I get burned out in a very short time. Let's see. Ralph says, hope Jake has a stream today, off work today, and can come back out and play. Jim Cooper says, Patrick, I just split a bunch of Western red cedar for arrow shafts. You still looking for Western woods? Wild rose and red dogwood are also things I can get my hands on fairly easily. Where's my water? I don't have my water. Hold on. Yeah, anything but softwoods I'm interested in. Western woods, but not softwoods. No cedar, no spruce, no pine, uh, nothing like that. But the hardwoods, like and the wild rose, they're good. Red dogwood sounds good. Wild rose sounds good, but no cedar, fir, pine, or anything like that. What else is going on? Imagine being a couple of nappers running into each other and nobody has any flint. That happens all the time. Scott Lauer says, sorry, Will Lord bumped into Peter whilst they were looking. Oh, I see. Both happened to turn up at the same time. Ah. Mike Mason says, bless you, Pat. I wasn't sneezing, I was coughing, but thanks. Jim Cooper says, okay, no cedar then. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the offer, too. I don't want to seem unappreciative. Ralph says, Scott, you meet Peter Wiring? I like the way the spell check messes with this stuff. That's awesome. He got skills, too. But no, Scott didn't meet him. Mike Mason says, I'll be trying my red cedar juniper anyway. Yeah. Yeah, try the softwoods. I just don't like the softwoods for arrow shafts. A lot of time spent, and then they break easily. Sal says, I just posted my finished point on your community. All right, where is it? Where is my community? Let me see. Do you guys know how to get to the community on my channel? You have to just go to the channel button. Make sure you're on my channel with the little glass arrowheads on it. The glass arrowheads on my channel. All right, and then you go to visit community. Right there's a button. Nope, not that one. That big long one. Where is Sal's? You hit the newest. There's a button that says newest, and then voila. Sal's finished point. There it is. I have notch envy. Sal, I don't know how you're doing it. It's taking me forever to perfect my notching technique, but he's already got it down. Yeah. I mean, my technique's not even perfected. Shut up. See, this is what you can do on the community, and then make sure you hit the like that. See? Even if you don't like it, just hit the like button. Oh, dang. Lance McIlwain, Outcast Metal. Lance from Outcast Metal making a ton of arrowheads. I mean, he's got piles of them. He just makes a ton of them. Dang it. Ralph Snyder's got a fishing decoy. I think I hit everybody else's like. I hit the like button on everybody else's. Yeah. I was up late last night surfing through comment sections and stuff. So oh, dang. Lance, you posted a ton. He's got Tallahassee quartzite. He's got high grade cherts and flints. He's got Gulf Coast Flint River cherts. Looks like some corals in there. Maybe some hornstones. He's got everything. Yeah. Looks like some Burlington in there too. What's all this stuff I'm talking about? Don't worry about it. You worry too much. hmm I could surf that for a while, man. Okay, what did I miss? La 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 la. So I just posted my finished points. I saw it. Scott Lauer says, "Dang it, I gotta go. Take care, all. All right, take care. Take it easy. Yep. If you gotta go, you gotta go. No worries." B.L. Thompson, leaving my archaeological excavation and listening to this on the drive home. Fair warning, I might talk smack about archaeologists. Don Reed. Gary is here. Grandpa Crafty is back. Yeah, I'm back. You almost missed it. You're too early, Gary. You should have arrived at like 3:59. You're early. See, Sal and I want some good laughs. What happened there? I still had that rod behind my knee. Let's see. Ralph says, I posted some pics of the fish decoys on Patrick's and my channels. Yeah, you can post whatever you want as long as it's family friendly. Because, have a little niece watching. I got relatives watching, little kids. So, yeah. All right, so do I start another one? I'm gonna save this. This is nice high grade stuff. I'm gonna save it for later. Yes, yes. No, I'll nap it off camera. Let's see what this is inside. This probably is not that great, but you never know. I'm using the largest bopper I have right now. This is the largest one I have. I think it's like 14 ounces or almost 14 ounces. This is going to be crackly. It's got damage on it already, I can see. All right, so in the time I have left, less than 30 minutes, I'm going to break into this and see what I got. Okay. How do I start? I don't know. I just look at something and I go, I think that's good. Why do I think that's good? I don't know. It's all crackly.
Yeah, dude, but you crackled it.
No, some of it's in there already. It's got incipients. I can take the blame for some of that. You see how sticky it is? Look at it. Can't see nothing. All right, I'll have to hold it further back and you have to zoom in. I think you can zoom in on the live stream and touch the screen and zoom in. See how crackly that is? No? Can't see nothing. It's crackly. And I paid for it. Yeah. It's okay. That's the way it goes. I drove 30 hours for this. Yeah, I did. Oh, dang. That solved that problem. What's it like on the inside? It's got the line of crud of death or the highway of death through the center. See that? That's the highway of death. When you see that in the middle of the stone, that means it gets worse as it gets to the center. The good stuff is on the outside. So how do you get the good stuff? You have to try to skim it off if there's no cracks. So I tried to skim that off, but it's too small. Let's see. Yeah, this is challenge rock. So maybe I'll do it as a challenge when you can see close up. I'll see if I can skim off some of this. No, it's all cruddy. It's got natural cracks in it. Yep. See that? That solves that problem. So this is bucket rock. 1, 2. I can't do anything with those pieces, but these pieces might have something worthwhile inside. Yeah, so I can save those later for a challenge. What else do I got? That was easy. I got something here that's called, oh dang, subvitreous rhyolite from Floyd in Arkansas. No? Uh, Maybe Floyd is a city. It's from Bill Warner. I got the notes on this one. It's supposedly a rhyolite, but it looks like a dacite. But it's kind of crunchy. Shall we try it? Yes, let's shall. So remember, this is subvitreous rhyolite. An archaeologist, no, a geologist gave me this. Is he a geologist? Or he just knows his rocks? Some people just know their rocks. If you're looking to me to know my rocks, I don't know my rocks. That looks like I can do something with it. Yeah, I can do something with this. I got to make sure I don't lose track of what this is, because it just looks like my crudstone rhyolite. I mean crudstone dacite. But this is from Bill Warner. Hold on while I write notes. This is why I usually don't write notes, because it takes forever and it's not interesting for you guys. Subvitreous rhyolite. Subvitreous rhyolite. And I have to write this so I can read it later. Right? Oh, nope. It's the rhyolite. Because if I don't write it so I can read it later, I will be upset that I wasted all that time for nothing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, do I have to do this on every piece? Yes, indeed. If I'm going to be keeping track. That's how I lose material. Some people will send me stuff. Fair warning: if you send me stuff, sometimes I lose track of it. I'll break it up and I'll forget to write, or I just won't take the time to write what it is on each and every flake, and it gets thrown in with like in this case, it might get thrown in with my crud flakes dacite, because it looks like crud flake dacite. It's not that subvitreous. I mean, some of the dacite looks just like the subvitreous stuff. It is volcanic, by the way. Dacite and subvitreous rhyolite is volcanic in origin. All right, you want to be tough? I'm trying to get spalls off of this that'll be workable later. It doesn't nap anything like rhyolite. I mean, like dacite. Dang it. It doesn't nap anything like dacite. It just looks like dacite. It looks almost exactly like dacite. But I can get arrowheads out of this, little bitty ones. But still, they still qualify as arrowheads. What's the secret to getting these? Time and practice. Yeah, but what's the secret? Time and practice. Come on. You're holding out on us, dude. I'm not holding out on you. It's time and practice. I don't know I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could tell you exactly how to do it. How to get nice balls. But it just takes time and practice. And of course, material that you oftentimes end up wasting, or you end up paying for something that doesn't work, like I just demonstrated. Oh, that sounded sweet. Let's see. Yes. I like it. Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. Yeah, I can make the rock laugh because that was such an awesome flake. So now we're at the biface stage. Yeah, that was really good. It's crackly right here though, so I don't know. I'm gonna save this. I'm not gonna finish snapping this on video. What else? Are we almost there yet? Mm-hmm. I've so this is coming up later. Uh, I forgot who gave me this at the nap-in to make a big Snyder's point. I started napping on it a couple days ago. No, I was still in Texas, so maybe a week ago. I started napping on this just to see how it napped. It naps very well. This is a heat treated piece of Keokuk. If you gave this to me at the nap-in in Texas, let me know. I forgot who gave it to me. I didn't write it down on. I didn't write your name down on this, but I'm going to make a Snyder's point from this. This is huge. Yeah, so that's coming up. It's a huge piece. I'm going to make an oversized Snyder's. Yeah. If it doesn't break in half or whatever. If it breaks, then I'll make it regular size Snyder's. Yeah. What else? I got a bunch of other stuff, but it's small. I've got some painted Buffalo River that I'm gonna nap on video soon. What else do I got? Bill Warner gave me a bunch of stuff. He gave me this too. It's kind of I think it's a heat treated jasper, but it's crumbly and crackly. It's got greens and browns and oranges and awesome colors, but it's a little bit dicey. This is coming up as rock challenges, and then I'm going to next nap some of this green stuff. A bloodstone. It's got specks of red in it. It's bloodstone, and I believe it is a heat treat. Although I don't know, you have to have a kiln or something to heat treat something that big. But I have to do this on a regular video. Yeah. This is quite a challenge because it's hard to get a big piece off of this. I already tried a couple of times and I scooped it. So I said, no. Yeah, I can't do that in a casual way. I've got to be very careful. All right, so some of this is crud. I've got big chunks, but I'm going to send some of this stuff to Bill Taylor. No, Jim Cooper. I get mixed up between those guys. Jim Cooper, I think I'm going to send you some of these big stuff. I'm not going to be napping a lot of big stuff, except for that one big, huge piece of obsidian. I think that'll be the last big chunk that I'm going to nap on video. Danny Collins sent me a huge chunk of obsidian. So yeah, Gary says I just hit the like button. I was so excited I forgot to hit it. Ed Gould says I wasn't Tomlinson that bought that piece from Jake just before it got broken. I don't remember. Ralph says time and practice. Yes. Blades. Sal says he's not here. Let's see. Gary says, where's Bushy? Bushy's in the chat somewhere. Snyder point in the auction. Snyder will be all over it for sure. I don't know if I'll be able to sell the Snyders. I got to figure out who sent it to me first and then get permission. Jim Cooper says, goody, I can't wait. I love that big rough rock. Yeah, Jim, I'm gonna send you that stuff soon. Uh, yeah, I got enough to send, so I'm gonna send it this week. It'll fill a large flat rate box. Let's see. Gary says, "How is the grandbaby?" Oh yeah, I went to visit my grandson for the first time. He's huge. He's in the 95th percentile for size. His dad's 6'5", my son-in-law, so that explains that. But man, he's a big boy. I can't believe it. He's only 7 months old and he's like huge, gigantical. Uh, so everyone's doing good actually. I visited. The only person I didn't get to visit was one of my daughters who lives in New Mexico. I didn't go that far west. Jim Cooper says, now that I'm back to it, I'll be gathering up some more sweet amoeba flakes and some red jasper if you still want it. Always, I still want it. Yes, always. Thank you. Mike Mason says, where are you back to, Jim? I think Jim had some surgery or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be doing videos this week, and some of the stuff that I do on video will be in the auctions. In fact, most of the stuff that I do on video now is going to be available in the auctions, but some of it's not. But I'll let you know when it's not. Ralph says, "Well, I'll bid on the next Snyder's Point." Okay, so I got to make sure I make a Snyder's Point. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Jim says, "Mike, back to napping. I had to take a break to recover from surgery." Yep. Gary says, "Do the door prize now." I should do the door prize on the exit. The first one to arrive brand new in the live stream when it's over gets the door prize. That'd be funny. Yeah, I'll just announce it like someone will come in after the live stream's over. And the first one that comes in after the live stream's over, I'll say, "Hey, you won the door prize, dude." Really? Yeah. I get to say goodbye to you. That's the door prize. No, I won't be that mean. That is kind of mean and cruel and dastardly. All right. So if you have questions that I missed, please re-ask the question because it's hard for me to go back in the chat and actually find questions. I can look right at a question and miss it as I'm scrolling, unless I take forever. Let's see. Talking about leverite flint. Let's see. Gary says, Sal, you should do a split screen live with Patrick. Yeah, but Sal's back in Texas. I don't know how to do that remotely. There is a way for me to do a live stream with a guest positioned somewhere on the screen, a screen on a picture on picture or something, or do it like a live stream that I can invite guests. I just haven't explored that. Yeah. Sal says, I guess the next live stream with me and Patrick will be in the spring. Well, I'll look into doing it during this live stream. I can invite guests to appear. I just don't have the knowledge on how to do that. I mean, I've watched other live streams that have guests. I've watched those, but I don't know how to do those. But we'll see. If I can figure out how to do that without spending the whole week figuring it out, I'll do it. Because I have other things to do during the week. Let's see. Gary says, "Did you get a deer?" No, but I got lots of deer meat from other people that got deer. But I'm going back. I should be able to get a deer next month because it's firearm season. Then it's just easy peasy. Where were you deer hunting on your trip? I was deer hunting in Texas, just south of San Angelo. Uh, Tons of deer this year. Jim Cooper says, if that's a reference, Mike, I'm ignorant. If it isn't, da, 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 da. What is he saying? So Jim will be posting some videos soon, looks like. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Mike Mason, I have friends I can ask for some Lidu. That, Patrick? What does that mean? Gary says, Sal can do commentary on your no talk videos. Hmm, that's a weird, interesting idea. I mean, Sal can download, or I think you can copy videos off of my channel and you can narrate them if you want. You can narrate the copies of my videos. I don't care. Uh, okay. Gary says, will you be going to the Letchworth next weekend for the nap in? I don't think I'm going to that nap in. I got too much stuff to do. I want to, but I don't think I'll be able to. I mean, I could. I've done it before where I just skip everything else I need to do and go do it. Go do the nap ins or whatever. But no, I think I'm going to stay home until I go on my next trip to Texas. But yeah, there is another nap in case you don't know, in Letchworth. For those of you who don't know, Letchworth has several nap ins every year. Letchworth National Park in New York. Let's see. Mike Mason says, if they give me an info, I'll email it to you, Pat. Okay, awesome. Firearms deer season, great. Squeeze that trigger. Kapow. Yeah. Firearm season is usually no problem getting a deer. Yeah. The only thing that stops us is the type of deer that you see. You know, don't shoot the fawns or some of the prized bucks are off limits because there's other hunters on that lease that want to get some of those bucks. Other than that, it's fair game. And uh, I don't care about mountable uh, trophy bucks. I don't get any of my animals mounted. I'm just interested in the deer meat. And my favorite cuts or my favorite parts of the deer are the neck and ribs, or basically the carcass. You can take the back straps, you can take the legs. I'll take everything else. So I get lots of deer meat that way, and I get the better end of the deal, I think. Yeah, New York State. Letchworth State Park is New York State. It's not that far from me. It's only like 7 hours, tops, maybe 6. Gary says, I've been cutting racks off the roadkills already. Yeah, I saw quite a few roadkills. Some of them had good antlers on them. On my way back, I saw roadkills all the way up. Um, New York had some roadkills. Mike Mason says, "Yeah, I was saying a lead on how to do that on the on a split screen. Let's see. Sal says, I will not be going to Letchworth. No. Gary says it's a 30-minute drive for him. Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah. It's 6 hours for me. 6 or 7. I think I drove straight through and it was almost 7 hours. Yeah. From here where I am in Vermont to Letchworth, New York. Marty says our rifle season here starts on the 7th in North Dakota. Yeah, I'm not sure when the rifle season starts in Texas, but when I go in December, it'll be right in the middle and toward the end of the rifle season. I think rifle season ends in early January in Texas. First week in January or something like that. But I'll be there for that. Just barely, right? Or no, not just barely. There'll be plenty of time. Of course, all the other hunters will have like 1 month ahead of me. I don't care. I'm just there to shoot some meat. Yeah. Yeah, Gary says, Sal, you got to come to the Letchworth nap in August. One, Sal, you got to go to the Coshocton or the Flint Ridge nap in. Yeah, to see the amazing extravaganza of flint napping. At least once in your lifetime. The Texas nap-in is great, but I didn't realize the Flint Ridge or the Coshocton nap-in was so huge, comparatively speaking. Now, I've been to events that were much bigger than the Coshocton nap-in, but they were like Renaissance festivals and other craft fairs and that kind of stuff. But for a nap-in, it's pretty big. Ralph says, agree, New York is pretty far for me too, Sal. Easiest way would be driving through Canada. Yeah, that's a long ways. But I'm going to try to go to each and every Flint Ridge or Coshocton nap-in, and I'll try to make it twice a year to Letchworth, spring and fall. Yeah, I don't want to go in the summer one. I just don't like napping in the sun. Sal says, "Yeah, I need to open up to new things." Yeah, the Coshocton nap-in was pretty cool. It rained the first couple of days, but then it cleared up and everyone started to socialize. And there's stuff going on until the wee hours of the morning, just like every other nap-in. Yeah, it was pretty good. Ed Gould says, I hunted a lot of birds the rest of my life. Gary says, Sal, do both of them. They are a week apart. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to make it down to the, Niblets Bluff nap-in, because they're only usually a week or two apart from the Texas nap-in. Yeah, Sal says, I do want to go to Niblets. Let me know, Sal, if you have an opportunity to go to Niblets. Maybe we can go at the same time. Ed Gould says pheasants, turkeys, and dove, quail, things like that, and goose. Sounds awesome. I've been dove hunting, but that's it. I have not hunted turkeys or geese or anything like that, or pheasants. But I've been dove hunting. Let's see. Ralph says Michigan's rifle shooting season, November 15th. Bucks are already chasing does here. I see. Gary says, I know a girl named Niblets. No, you don't. That's a nickname. Oh, yeah, I need more Barefoot Danny in my life. Yep, Sal. If you don't know Barefoot Danny, just watch my live stream that I took during the Texas nap-in, and you'll see Barefoot Danny. He's sometimes in the chat as N Doghouse. letter N, and the word doghouse. Yep, yep. Okay, so it's 4 o'clock Eastern time. It's time to watch for stragglers. It's the magic hour. Let's see who's. Hey, dudes, and don't be faking it either. Yeah, don't just show up and go, "Hey, dudes, I'm ready." Stonehook has not been posting much. What's up? Niblets Bluff, great, funny name. I love it. Yeah, it's the name of a napkin. Niblets Bluff Napkin in Louisiana. Yeah, now that we're watching to see if it happens, it's not going to happen. No one's going to come in late. Besides, we've already announced it too much, and they're like, hmm. They just showed up, right? And they're going, wait a second. I showed up late. They're already making fun of me. I'm not going to post nothing. Ralph says Barefoot Danny is crazy cool. Yeah, he has cut himself pretty badly. I worried about him the first time I saw him do that, walking on all the flakes. First time I saw him do that, he cut himself pretty bad that one time. But he was more careful this time. Of course, I think he had more beers the first time I saw him do it. Yeah. So if you have a chance to go to a nap in, that's where you find rocks. Okay. I get so many questions on where do I get rocks? Where do I find rocks? I need rocks in my life. Rocks are my life now. Just go to a nap in, please. I try to post it. I haven't been posting it. I've been slacking. I'm going to go back in my videos and post in the comments section the nap in lists by state. Okay? Just go to a nap in. And I don't want to hear no excuses. If I can drive 30 hours to a nap in, I don't want to hear no excuses. Unless it's work related. Yeah, you got to feed. You got to feed those little birds that, the little baby birds with their mouths open when you get home. I understand that. That's what I felt like every time I came home from a job. Little baby birds with their mouths open, ready to be fed every day. So in that case, I understand. Otherwise, if you're retired, you have no excuses. Or if you're single, you don't have those little baby birds at home. Let's see. Where's Jim? Jim Maine. Hey, all. Driving, so I can't say much. Well, good, because we're not going to let you say too much because I'm going to end the live stream. So, Jim, you won the exit door prize. Yeah. Drive safe. Yeah. And we're not going to keep you. All right. So you don't have to be listening too long. You came in at the tail end of the at the tail end of the live stream. I didn't expect it to be you, Jim. That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. That it? Do I got to say goodbye now? I know some people are going, dude, you should have said goodbye a long time ago. You're not interesting unless you're napping. Yeah, you're just dull. If you're not napping, it's like watching the paint dry with bubbles in it. Ed Gould says I'm 75. Dang, tomorrow. Tomorrow's your birthday? Jim Cooper says, see you next live stream, Patrick. Yep. But let's see. If it's Halloween, like is Friday Halloween? Because if it is, I will not be doing a live stream on Halloween. I'll be outside giving out candy and enjoying the old timey trick or treat Halloween. Yeah. They do it right around here. Yes. When is Halloween? Friday. There will not be a live stream Friday. It is on Halloween. So I'll be outside from 9 to 10 p.m. for sure. The stragglers come in maybe around 9:30 or so and pick up all the rest of the candy. Yeah. I want to be out there from sundown to 9:30 outside for Halloween. Yeah. It'll be cool. So no live stream on Friday because it's Halloween, but there I might actually do a live stream Saturday. We'll see. Let's see. No, I had to wait 2 weeks, says Gary. You're gonna have to wait again. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna do a live stream on Friday on Halloween. I'll probably postpone it till Saturday if I do it. I might be too busy doing knappings for the auction and for side projects. Hey, yeah, happy birthday to everybody. October. Birthday's in October. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Yeah, that's it. If there's no questions, which it doesn't look like there is, and people are already leaving, I'm going to say goodbye. We'll see you on the next live stream or the next video. I'll be doing videos before the next live stream for sure. All right. All right. See you all on Monday then. Ross Wellman or Saturday. I don't know. Yeah, I'll announce it ahead of time if I do one on Saturday. But definitely there will be on one on Monday. Live stream on Monday for sure. Saturday maybe, depending on how busy I am. And we're almost back to our regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, almost back to the every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. All right. We'll see you then. See you in the next video. Good to see everybody. Happy Halloweeny. Yep. All right. We'll see you then. Bye bye.